A very good evening to you. You're watching Primetime News at 9, coming to you live and direct from the News First newsroom here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Sandra Ferdinando. We'll start off with a look at your headlines.
Basil Rajapaksa to return to Sri Lanka after the 20th of April. Chairman of the Central Provincial Council sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. The future of the position of opposition leader.
කතානායකතුමාගෙන් ඉල්ලන්න විපක්ෂ නායකවරයා හැටියට දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන ඇමතුමන්ව පත් කරන්න කියලා.
අපිට මොකද්ද කරන්න තියෙන්නේ? එක එක වලිගේ පස්සේ යන එකද?
Creation of free Wi-Fi zones across the country commences.
Now on to tonight's top story. MP Basil Rajapaksa's lawyer UR De Silva submitted to the Kadula Magistrates Court today that the MP will arrive in Sri Lanka after the 20th of April. The Financial Crimes Investigation Division had informed court on a prior occasion that they need to obtain a statement from Basil Rajapaksa over certain transactions that occurred at the Ministry of Economic Development.
Today, in the Magistrate Court of Kadwela, the lawyers of Mr. Basil Rajapaksa, former minister, on behalf of the minister, we filed a motion and informed court that there is a notice under section 124 of the Criminal Procedure Code that this minister's statement is needed for the ongoing inquiry in the particular unit where they are inquiring into various frauds about the particular ministry. So, since this order was issued some time ago, when the minister was not available in Sri Lanka, once he got to know the order, he promptly retained the lawyers to appear on behalf of him and place these facts to court to state that he is ready to come and give a statement after 20th of April this year. Accordingly, we inform court that as lawyers we are looking after the interest of Mr. Basil Rajapaksa. He is in abroad and he is ready to come and give a statement after the 20th of April.
Mahinda Abeyakun, the chairman of the Central Provincial Council, was sentenced to 2.5 years imprisonment today, having been found guilty of violating election laws. Now, the sentence was handed down by Kandy High Court Judge Menaka Vijayasundara today. Now, a case had been filed against Mahinda Abeyakun and 14 others in connection with violating election laws in the Heva Heta area in Galaha. And the run-up to the 2001 general election, 11 of the defendants had been acquitted during the course of the trial. When the case was taken up today, Mahinda Abeyakun was found guilty on 3 charges. He will serve 6 months in prison for the first charge and 1 year in prison each for the second and the third charges.
Former Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivad Cabral, was grilled today by the Financial Crimes Investigations Division over the controversial hedging deal.
The former governor of the Central Bank, who arrived at the Financial Crimes Investigation Division, was interrogated this morning. Anyone is free to interrogate me at any time. There were various questions that arose with regard to the hedging deal, and I have answered all their questions on the matter. They asked me several professional questions as well. I'm happy about this. I believe this is the right of the police. It is our responsibility to give answers to this.
Minister Patali Champigranavarka says that the Prime Minister has broken promises that he made to the Cabinet when appointing Arjuna Mahendran as the Governor of the Central Bank.
During the presidential election time, we had pledged a transparent and level playing ground was to be initiated there in financial market. But because of this transaction there in Central Bank, that transparency issue as well as the level playing ground and the trust and the social capital, which is the base of this financial circuits, has been now somewhat destabilized and somewhat tarnished. So the entire government is being blamed. So we have to restore this trust and level playing ground and the transparency there in financial market. In order to do that, we have to take stern action, especially to investigate this transaction. And also, I think in order to restore the trust and social capital there in financial markets. Central bank governance should be resigned, and also there should be a transparent, impartial investigation into this transaction. Unless otherwise, you can't move this economy.
A complaint was filed at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery and corruption today against Minister Richard Bathiuddin over an alleged land grab in the Vilpattu sanctuary. The complaint was filed today by the Sinhala National Front.
The front states that the minister had illegally obtained lands in the Vilpattu area to settle local and foreign individuals. The national convener of the Sinhala National Front, Venerable Arugalle Sri Jinananda Thero, added that the minister had received overseas funds to continue his work. Minister Richard Bathiuddin and officials at the relevant ministries have been cited as respondents in this complaint.
Former Minister of Education Basil Rajapaksa arrived at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today.
MP Basil Rajapaksa arrived at the Commission voluntarily and requested that investigations into allegations of corruption be expedited.
If I have done anything wrong, give me the highest possible punishment and clear my name. This was given on the 6th of February. In the span of these 50 days, there has been no questioning. When I went to meet the director of the commission to see what was happening, I was told that she was at a meeting. I was here for half an hour. You all know that I arrived here at 10 in the morning. She didn't answer the phone. Now what is this? We are unable to contact the Director General of the Bribery Commission to raise questions on the status of the written request. If this is the situation, a situation where we are unable to provide reasons to the public as to what is going on, this is a wonderful country, isn't it?
UPFA parliamentarian Sarana Gurawardena was produced before the Athanagala magistrate today. The MP was arrested on charges of fraud in the sale of a stock of iron.
The accused had failed to supply a stock of iron to a purchaser after obtaining 9.6 million rupees in payment. MP Sarana Gurawardena was released on bail today by Athanagala magistrate Kavindyanana Kara.
I'm a
politician. Just as I am a businessman, I privately carried out the business activities at a company that I purchased privately from a company based in India. I sold it now. It has been 5 years since there has been no reaction or issue raised for 5 years. Not a single allegation. Out of the blue, they summoned me before the Criminal Investigations Department to record a statement and produce me before court. I am still held under remand custody. In the meantime, they snatched away my SLFP Athanagala chief organizer position. I leave this matter to God.
JVP Uva Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna says that good governance has entered the wrong path. The Provincial Council made this statement at a public gathering in the Hapatgamu area in Bandarwala.
They said they will provide concessions to the public. They produced the interim budget to do this. When we listened to the interim budget speech, it made us really happy when considering the concessions that were provided. The speech was good, even the recommendations were good. It's unpleasant when this is not done. Am I lying? They said this was good governance, but this is something else. They said they will nab the thieves. They said they will punish the corrupt. We were very happy. Now they have gone into a national government with the thieves. They made a mistake before the 100 days end. What was said was not done. They are not on the path they said they would be on. They are on a new path. We did not want to defeat one person. We did not have a grudge against Basil Rajapaksa. The problem was that he ruled the country in a wrong manner. He caused harm to the country. The national unity was harmed. Now what has happened? The individual is defeated, but the mechanism still remains.
The first phase of establishing free Wi-Fi zones across the country commenced today. This initiative has been undertaken in line with one of the promises of the 100-day program of the government.
As part of the first phase of this initiative, areas of the Colombo Fort Railway Station, SLTB and private bus halts in Kolpiti and the Teivala Zoo are among 12 locations that will be provided this facility. Free Wi-Fi will also be available at the Polonnaruwa Railway Station and the Polonnaruwa Base Hospital, as well as the Matra Railway Station and bus halt. Other areas include the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital and Railway Station, the Hambantota Botanical Gardens, Jaffna Railway Station and the Jaffna Public Library. The historic temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic in Kandy, Peradeniya Railway Station, as well as the Ratnapura National Museum will also be provided this service. The free Wi-Fi will be expanded to 1,000 public locations in the country in order to accept the idea of the use of internet as a basic human right and create a platform to ensure the right of free speech. The inauguration of this program was held under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Fort Railway Station in Colombo. The Prime Minister noted that parallel to introducing such programs, incidents of corruption that have courted controversy are also being looked into.
We commenced the first phase of this program because we are trying to create a future for the youth. I would like to confidently state that we will be creating new job opportunities after the elections. There has been large-scale fraud taking place in banks. We saw corruption taking place in financial markets. We have appointed 2 committees to look into this. Since Parliament is a central authority, they will be tasked with looking into this issue. I will be holding the Parliament responsible for this. We will look into why the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the Treasury, associations related to company registrars and accounting institutions did not fulfill their responsibility.
The Information Communication and Technology Agency says that apart from 26 public locations, measures will be taken to introduce free Wi-Fi according to the population ratio in each district. Newsfirst inquired into the manner as to how the public can obtain this free Wi-Fi service.
Wi-Fi is a wireless technology that can provide internet services covering a span of 200 to 300 meters. If the public wish to access this free service, you need to register by going to the outlet of relevant institutions. The minimum requirement is the NIC.
1,000 public locations will have access to internet at a speed of 512 kilobytes with a quota of 100 megabytes. Through this, you will be able to gain access to free internet, and it does not matter if you live in the city or the village, access to internet will not be an issue.
The results of the 2014 GCE ordinary level examinations were released today. Tharidurima Wickremesinghe, a student of Nalanda College in Colombo, was ranked first in the island.
මට හරි පුදුමයි මේසා විශාල විෂයබාහිර ක්‍රියාකාරකම් රාශියක නියැලෙච්ච දරුවෙක් ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම ස්ථානයට අධ්‍යයන ප්‍රතිශතක පත්‍ර සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ විභාගයෙන් ආවා කියන එක මම හිතන්නේ මේක ලෝකේ ඉතාම සුවිශේෂී අවස්ථාවක් හැටියට හඳුනන්න පුළුවන්. ඔහු ඒ තරමට විෂයබාහිර ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වල නියැලෙච්ච කෙනෙක්.
Tharindu Rinmal visited the Newsfirst Center in Colombo today, and Newsfirst his Rina Hisbi spoke to Tharindu on his achievement.
Congratulations, Tharindu Nirmal. I'll start off with that. What does it feel like about this achievement? What does it mean to you?
I can't express my happiness. It was such a shock. I was in a A-level class this morning, and then after that I got the news from about like 50 SMSs that I been iron first. Then we came to school, and then that's when I got
600,000 almost candidates. Did you think that you'll come in first when you sat for the exams?
I thought of doing my best in the exam. I never thought of being the first. But there was always the backup from school and the support from all of our teachers. So they always expected me to get a good result.
Right. Who do you have to thank for, really? I mean,
first and foremost, my family, my mother, father, elder sister, and grandparents, and every relative who's been very supportive. And then the special thanks goes to all my teachers. Not only the teachers from grade 1 to 11, but also the entire staff in the school. Including the principal, because I engaged in extracurricular activities like scouting and chess and all of sorts. So they were willing to grant me relief in grade 11 so that I could take off my responsibilities in those societies and concentrate on my studies.
And also Tharindu, now you just said you were at an A-level class this morning.
Yes.
What are your future plans?
I'm planning to pursue my A-levels in mathematics stream, and I also have a liking towards astronomy.
Right.
So I'm hoping to link those two together and somehow face
All
the
right,
future.
so just any message that you have to give?
My
lastly?
message is not to fear this exam. This is just another exam, but that taking that in mind, you should not take it lightly. You must prepare for it, but don't overwork it. You can study in grade 10 and 11 and get through it. You just have to work according to a method and do the past papers and learn what your teachers say and keep that in mind. That's the simple.
All right, then congratulations and all the very best for the future, Thanindu.
Thank you
very much.
Sandhini Navanjana, a student of Holy Cross College in Gampa, was ranked second in the island at the 2014 GCE Ordinary Level examination. She visited her school along with her parents today.
I did my work on time and took short notes. I didn't expect that this would happen. I was hoping for 9 A's, but I didn't imagine that I would get a rank.
Three students from three different schools achieved third place in the island jointly. Amasha Nivarthana from Vishaka College, Colombo, was one of those placed third.
I didn't make any special effort. I wasn't expecting an island-wide ranking. I did the work scheduled for the day and moved forward. I think this is why I achieved this victory.
ඒකට දිනයකට නියමිත දේවල් හදාගෙන ඒ කොටස සම්පූර්ණ කරා එතකොට මම හිතන මේ ජයග්‍රහණය හම්බුනේ හින්දා කියලා.
Meanwhile, placed fourth in the island is also a student of Visakha Vidyalaya, Colombo. S.A. Nuwari Netsaruni, a student of Ratnavali Balika Mahavidyalaya, came in third place. She is a resident of Udatu Tirupitiya, Neligamulla in Yakala.
I'm very happy about this achievement. My message to children who are hoping to sit for the examination is to start from 10. Do your studies in keeping with the timetable and the syllabus. By August in grade 11, start revising. Start practicing with past papers.
Also placed third in the island is Garuni Hansepani Abel Singh, a student of Mahamaya Girls College, Kandy. Her father passed away 2 years ago and Garuni followed her mother's guidelines when it came to education.
I never let my education take a backseat. I would finish the work on the day itself. I was able to follow a timetable and allocate enough time for almost all of the subjects. I think this is why I was able to achieve this victory.
හැම විෂයම පාඩම් කරන්න පුළුවන් විදියට මට පුළුවන් උපරිම මම මගේ පාඩම් වැඩ කටයුතු කරා. මට සතුටින් මම මේ ජයග්‍රහණය ලැබපු එකට.
Meanwhile, the Department of Examinations says that the applications for recorrection of the 2014 GCE Ordinary Level answer scripts must be submitted before the 24th of this month. The Examinations Department added that the applications for this purpose will be dispatched to the principals of designated schools, while private candidates will be able to apply through forms published in newspapers.
For the final rites of Priyantha Sirisena, the brother of President Maitripala Sirisena, were observed this evening.
Priyantha Sirisena passed away whilst receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. A large crowd gathered at his residence in Athumalpitiya, Polonnaruwa to pay their last respects. A number of government representatives and politicians from the opposition came to pay their last respects to Priyantha Sirisena today as well.
ඉතාමත්ම කීර්තිමත් පවුල
ලංකාව ශ්‍රී විජයාරාමාදී සරණං ගච්ඡාමි සරණං ගච්ඡාමි රයිතෝ දින්නම් ප්‍රේකාණං වප්පනීයතා.
Priyantha Sirisena, who was a father of 3, was only 43 years old at the time of his demise. The final rites were observed at the Polonnaruwa Public Cemetery.
Views were expressed on the position of the opposition leader during 2 separate media briefings today.
ඉතිහාසයේ පළවෙනි වතාවට ආණ්ඩුවක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා එක ඡන්දෙකින්.
This will be the first election in history in which a president, prime minister and an opposition leader were selected at their personal behest. In order to change this scenario, we are planning on requesting the Speaker of the House to appoint Dinesh Gunawardena as the opposition leader. Over 58 MPs have already placed their signatures expressing their consent. There are also a very few who had signed a petition requesting to keep the current opposition leader Nimal Siripala de Silva in his position. They later forwarded an affidavit citing that they had placed their signatures by mistake and agreed to a request to appoint Dinesh Gunawardena to the post of opposition leader. Meanwhile, current opposition leader Nimal Siripala de Silva also remarked on the positions of opposition leader during a meeting of the SLFP, a grade 1 representatives at the new town hall in Colombo.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමා ජනාධිපති වුණායින් පස්සේ එතුමා පක්ෂය බාරගත්තා.
After Maitripala Sirisena was appointed president, he took over the party. He did not voluntarily take over the party. In fact, the party was handed over to him by Mahinda Rajapaksa. So as seniors of the SLFP, tell me what Honorable Premadasa and I are entrusted with. Are we supposed to go behind people or to remain safeguarding the party? That is the task we are about to take up.
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපතිතුමාව අපි එතුමාට සහයෝගය දෙමින් ඩබල් ගේම් ගැහුවේ නැහැ.
We fulfilled our duties in rendering our fullest cooperation to endure his victory. Just like you, we are here to safeguard the party, not to gain political leverage or to hold positions. Some are vying to create rifts within the party. They are attempting to remove a faction from the party. But you need not fear, because we are now hard at work to keep the party intact and we will fight for it relentlessly.
මේ පක්ෂය එකට තියාගෙන කැලෙන්නට නොදී ඒක රාශී කරගැනීමේ ව්‍යායාමකයේදී ඉන්නේ.
We encountered a technical difficulty earlier in the bulletin while airing the views expressed by Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka on the alleged treasury bond scam. We are now able to present the report in full. Minister Ranawaka says that the Prime Minister has broken promises that he made to the Cabinet when appointing Arjun Mahendran as the Governor of the Central Bank. Now, speaking to Newsfirst today, Minister Ranawaka noted that he and Minister Rajitha Senaratne had opposed the appointment of Arjun Mahendran as a Governor of the Central Bank due to the possibility of a conflict of interests arising.
During the presidential election time, we had pledged a transparent and level playing ground was to be initiated there in financial market. But because of this transaction there in central bank, that transparency issue as well as the level playing ground and the trust and the social capital, which is the base of this financial circuits, has been now somewhat destabilized and somewhat tarnished. So the entire government is being blamed. So we have to restore this trust and level playing ground and the transparency there in financial market. In order to do that, we have to take stern action, especially to investigate this transaction. And also, I think in order to restore the trust and social capital there in financial market, central bank governor should be resigned, and also there should be a transparent, impartial investigation into this transaction. Unless otherwise, you can't move this economy forward, and also those who voted for a transparent society and financial market actually will be disillusioned and disappointed.
අද දවසෙත් අපි දන්නවා කීප දෙනෙක්
Even today, we know that several people are going to the Special Police Unit on Financial Crimes, which operates through the Anti-Corruption Committee Secretary, to give statements. The biggest allegations that has been levelled at the government, which speaks of good governances, is the matter pertaining to the bond issue of the Governor of the Central Bank. This is a major allegation that has been levelled at the Governor of the Central Bank. Certain experts and professionals are initiating legal action over this. New rogues are still coming in and we cannot see them. The fraud that was committed by the Central Bank Governor and his son-in-law and daughter has caused major loss to the country and has impacted the financial market. What the government should do is to demand that the investigation is expedited and enforce the law, but we cannot see such a thing happening. Arjuna Mahendran is the candidate who was researched and vetted and then brought in. Brought in by whom? The Prime Minister. I believe that given the situation, the Prime Minister too should go on leave. I do not understand how he can continue to function as the Prime Minister. If this does not happen, then the Prime Minister should be relieved of the responsibility. If not, then the Prime Minister should act with accountability over the allegations levelled at him with regard to this incident.
This Treasury bond scandal seems to get worse by each passing day. We are now told that two cabinet ministers, Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka and Dr. Rajita Senaratna, were both vociferous in their condemnation of the possible appointment of Arjuna Mahendran as the Governor of the Central Bank. They raised their concerns at Cabinet, along with other ministers too, that there was clearly a conflict of interest scenario. The Prime Minister, however, chose to assure his colleagues in Cabinet that this would simply not happen and that nothing untoward would happen. This is precisely what has happened now. The conflict of interest scenario has happened, has taken place. It may be prudent in the interests of the public and of this good governance that we are led to believe is what this government is all about, that the Prime Minister actually makes a statement to the Financial Crimes Investigation Division, the FCID.
On Newsfirst tonight, a group of farmers lament that they have not received payments having sold their paddy harvest to the government at the certified price. When Newsfirst made inquiries, the chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board too confirmed that such a problem has arisen in several parts of the island.
The government commenced the program to purchase paddy from farmers at a certified price several weeks ago. At certain centres, farmers have been made to wait several days to receive payments, having already supplied the paddy.
We provided the paddy last Monday. There has been no result. We keep coming and going, and they keep telling us to come tomorrow or the day after. This is meaningless. We ask the authorities not to waste our time like this. I have been left despondent. I have debt to pay. I need to pay the people who work the field and pay the lease for the tractor.
We made inquiries from the chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, M.B. Dissanayake, regarding this issue.
Since we were unable to secure the money that we should have received from the Treasury last Friday, a small delay had arisen at purchasing centres across the island. The delay was prevalent everywhere. As of today, we have held discussions with the Treasury and have obtained funds. We have disbursed the funds to all the districts. In some cases, it could be 100%. If there is any balance to be paid, we will make those payments too within the next few days.
Meanwhile, rice mill owners in the Ampara district say that they are facing a major crisis because of the price of paddy and the market price of rice. Rice mill owners say that while the government has stipulated a price of 45 rupees per kilo of paddy, Satosa sells imported rice at 50 rupees a kilo, making it impossible for them to sell their produce.
Satosa sells white rice for 50 rupees. We say it should be increased to 70 rupees per kilo. We are unable to sell white rice produced locally and therefore the rice mills become inoperational. We ask if the government can supply the paddy it purchases at 45 rupees at a price of 50 rupees.
The rice mill owners request that the government establish a price that is fair by both the consumer and the producer.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe announced today that the Executive Committee of Sri Lanka Cricket had been dissolved and that an interim committee had been appointed. Meanwhile, Sports Minister Navin Dissanayake said that the new officials will be appointed for the administration of cricket. Now, these were expressed at two separate events. We have appointed an interim committee for the cricket board. This is because the Sri Lanka Cricket Board owes 500 million rupees to the engineering corporation. There's also an issue where CSN had taken a certain amount that was owed from cricket matches. Therefore, I decided to appoint this committee today since we need some more time. The new committee that was appointed will look into this matter as well as other incidents of the corruption that had taken place at the Sri Lanka Cricket Board. The government has provided money to the Sri Lanka Cricket Board to build a cricket ground, but this money was not given to the engineering corporation.
Meanwhile, Sports Minister Navin Dissanayake expressed these views attending the opening ceremony of a multi-purpose building in Lakshapana.
We promised that a change will take place in our country. This change would be in the field of sport, and you will be able to witness it in the next 2 days. I will make appointments. Veterans will be appointed to the cricket board. A group of talented persons will be appointed who are not involved in corruption. We hope that this move will uplift cricket in the country. All credit for the success of the sport goes to the talent of our cricketers, and it is not because of the administration. Therefore, we hope to bring in some good cricket as in the past, as well as for other sports.
Meanwhile, a press release issued by Sri Lanka Cricket on the 18th of February 2015 states that the 30th of April has been fixed for the election of office bearers for Sri Lanka Cricket. An inquiry made by Sports First revealed that a number of nominations have been received. However, Director General of Sports, Ruwan Chandra, said that it cannot be revealed to the media. He noted that since he has not received any information regarding the appointment of the interim committee, it is not possible to comment on the election. Meanwhile, a former member of the executive committee and president of CCC, Shami Silva, said that he had submitted his nomination for the post of president of SLC.
Well, that's a wrap for Primetime News at 9. Remember to keep abreast with all these stories and much more. You can simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Sandra Ferdinando. Do take care and good night.